We all know that the run-up to this World Cup has been an unmitigated disaster. From ridiculous ticket prices to widespread visa issues and forbidding people from bringing in water bottles in the heat of summer, one can only describe FIFA as a bunch of camel thieves and sociopaths. But I am still excited for the matches and happen to be blessed with the gift of foresight, so we are going to do the predictions. With a massive 48-nation, 12-group World Cup, let's hop right in the deep end. All right, let's hop right on in, and I'm gonna leave a little link down in the description. I am actually using worldpicks.vercel.app, and it's a pretty good World Cup predictor. As you can see here, not only does it let you pick the winners, draws, and you go through the whole group stages into the knockouts, but it also gives you, for each group, a little storyline, a little tension point, the dark horse of the group, the rankings of the team, and for each matchup gives you when the last competitive meeting was, if there was one, and something here called community picks, which basically shows you how other people have picked winners, losers, and draws here. So you can see if you are bucking the trend or going along with the crowd. So to Group A we go, and it is a host nation group with Mexico, South Korea, South Africa, and Czechia, as they are currently now known. Host nation groups are always a little bit tricky. You never really know if, the home nation is gonna freeze in front of their crowd or really perform. Mexico, I don't know, but opening match between South Africa and Mexico was actually the same opening match as the 2010 World Cup. This time, I believe back in 2010, it wound up 1-1. Yeah, it was 1-1. You can see that right here. I am going to pick Mexico to win this one. South Africa, they're honestly probably one of the weaker African sides. I watched them a couple times, and I do not have much faith in them. Mexico, I think, will win the opener at the Estadio Azteca. In the other group game on match day 1 for Group A, South Korea versus Czechia. Czechia are one of the weaker European sides, even though South Korea not great at the World Cup, or at least haven't been since 2002. You can see here in the show details, their last 5 meetings with each other, they only have 2, and one was won by Korea, one was won by Czechia. I don't know. I'm gonna go with an opening day draw for both of them here. Match day 2, Czechia, South Africa. I'm going with Czechia to win that match. And then Mexico, South Korea. This is gonna be a good one. Mexico have 3 wins in the last 5 meetings, and most people here picked Mexico. I'm gonna go with the home cooking, Mexico. And then on match day 3, you can actually see here, you can view the table as you go along. So, in the last match day, this looks like South Korea would definitely need a win. And then we have Czechia and Mexico. I'm gonna go with a draw here. And then Korea beating South Africa. So Mexico will win the group with Czechia in 2nd and South Korea in 3rd. And we are going to get to the 3rd place rankings at the end of the group stages. It lets you pick the top 8 that will go through for the 3rd place rankings. Group B is another host nation group, this time Canada, Switzerland, Qatar, and Bosnia-Herzegovina. All right, match day 1, we have Canada and Bosnia. Bosnia are also one of the weaker European sides. Canada, I think, are going to win this opening match in Toronto. Qatar and Switzerland. Qatar is actually the Asian champions, the current Asian champions. But, I mean, Switzerland are by far a stronger team here. I'm going to go with them winning this game. And as you can see here in the community picks, overwhelmingly, people think the Swiss are going to win this one. Heading along to match day 2, Switzerland and Bosnia. Oof. I'm going with Switzerland here. Canada and Qatar. The Canadians should almost definitely win this one. If they cannot win at least one of their opening group matches against Bosnia and Qatar, they are in a world of trouble. But I'm picking them. They're going to win here. And then on the last match, going into the last match day, what do we have here? Canada and Switzerland pulling out by far ahead. And actually, by this point, both of them would have qualified for the next stage. But to wrap up the group, Switzerland, Canada. Honestly, I'm going with Switzerland here. I think they're by far the strongest team in this group. And Bosnia and Qatar. I'm going with our first draw. Is it our first draw? Did I pick any draws? No. I already picked a draw. All right. Well, that gives us Switzerland winning the group, Canada coming in second, and Qatar and Bosnia bringing up the rear. Not looking good for the third place team so far. I think who did I have here in Group A? The third place team. Oh well, they have 4. South Korea has 4 points, and I think as a third place team, if you manage to get 4 points out of your group, you're in probably a very good position to progress. Next up, we got Group C, and a lot of people are calling this the group of death, and honestly, I cannot really argue with them. This one's made up of Brazil, Morocco, Scotland, and my sweet Haiti. I got the kit right back there. Isn't it beautiful? Look at that. Look at that deep blue, that lovely patch, the little design here at the end. Absolutely loving it. Group C, little group of death in here. There's actually a little editorial that I guess one of the writers here wrote. Why Group C is the most psychologically loaded group in the tournament, and why Morocco are no longer the underdogs they were in 2022. Well, Morocco are definitely not underdogs anymore. As we all know, they're African champions, or whatever is going on with that, but Morocco are no longer going to surprise anyone. Everyone knows how they play. It just matters, can you stop them? Enough yip yap. Let us pick the teams who are the winners in Group C. Opening match of Group C is, as you can see, another thing about this website, they also have these little oh, this is a marquee matchup. Oh, this is a derby. This is a cool little website that was made. But here, who are we picking? This is going to be a tough match. Brazil are not the animal they used to be, and Morocco are quite strong. Obviously, Brazil has dominated the last meetings. Form-wise, both are kind of similar. The last meeting was in Tangiers about, 2-3 years ago, and Morocco actually wound up winning that one, but I'm going with a draw here. Moving on, Haiti and Scotland. Haiti open up their group play with Scotland in Boston. And this is a really tough group for Haiti. I mean, a European team and Brazil and the most probably in form African side. Honestly, I think Haiti are probably going to lose all 3 matches. I wish that wasn't the case. I would love it if we were to take points off of someone, but I don't know. Probably quite unlikely. I'm going with Scotland here. Match day 2, Morocco and Scotland. I don't know. Morocco have won the last. Let's take a look here. Their last meeting was actually at the 1998 World Cup, where Morocco blew out Scotland 3-0. I'm gonna go with Morocco winning this one here. Still on match day 2, we got Brazil and Haiti. The last time these 2 teams faced was a hugely historical match when Brazil came down to Port-au-Prince, and I believe they probably have the details. Yeah, it was a 6-0 victory for the Brazilians, but honestly, it was just a win for Haitian fans in Haiti to get to see the Brazilian team. For anyone that knows anything about soccer in Haiti, you support, well, before Haiti were good and now qualifying for tournaments, you supported 2 teams, Argentina or Brazil. But I think here, obviously, Brazil are going to win this game probably. So moving on to match day 3, Scotland and Brazil. Brazil are almost definitely going to win this one, and then Morocco are gonna knock out Haiti. This is actually the game I'm going to. Hopefully, I'll get to see Haiti score at least a goal. I think taking a point off Morocco is probably too far. So where do we wind up here? Let's take a look at the table. Brazil win the group, Morocco in second, Scotland finishing third with 3 points. Their only win I can really see coming from Haiti, so not looking good for the Scots when it comes to the third place rankings. Group D, another co-host nation, and this time it is my fellow Americans. Group D made up of the USA, Paraguay, Australia, and Turkey. Turkey, I believe I'm pronouncing that right. So let's get straight into the picks. The United States opening up the World Cup in LA or Inglewood against Paraguay. Paraguay are having a lot of injury problems. They just lost their main attacker. I thought the United States would have a lot more trouble in this group, but with all of the stuff happening to Paraguay, I think this is going to be an opening day win for the United States of America. And in the other match in the group on match day 1, Australia and Turkey, I think this is going to be a tight match. A little bit of a tight match. These two teams are ranked 25 and 26. Not that the rankings mean much of anything. I don't know. Last time they met was actually in the United States about 16 years ago, and Australia got the win. We can't really, for a lot of these, last meetings that were decades ago or 15 years ago, that kind of really isn't useful. I think Turkey I believe they are in slightly better form. No, they're basically in the same form. I think Turkey are the stronger side. I think they're going to win. Match day 2, United States against Australia. I'm going with the USA. And at this point, the United States will have 6 points in the group, and that should be more than enough for them to qualify. But we'll finish out the group. Turkey, Paraguay. I'm going Turkey. Turkey, USA. I think this is going to wind up in a draw. Paraguay, Australia. I am going... You know what? I'm going to go with Australia. I'm going to give Australia a win here, and that puts them into third place behind the US and Turkey. And yeah, I think the USA, with all the injuries to Paraguay, I think they can definitely win this group. I'm not too high on the US men's national team most of the time, but this is absolutely now is a very winnable group. Moving on to Group E, this is a group without any of the host nations, made up of Germany, Ecuador, Cote d'Ivoire, and Curacao. I mean, the obvious favorite here is Germany, but let's go through the picks. Starting off Group E is Germany and Curacao. I mean, this is going to be possibly the most lopsided match at the World Cup, probably. Although I'm not really loving the way Germany has looked of late, but they'll win this one. Ivory Coast and Ecuador. This is gonna be a tight one. Two very decent African sides. This is actually their first competitive meeting, and the community picks are more even than lots of other games. Most people chose Ecuador here. I have a feeling that's a lot of that is just based on ranking. I'm gonna go with a draw here. Ivory Coast and Ecuador. Moving on, Germany and Ivory Coast. When was the last meeting between these two? The last meeting was a friendly in 2006, and Germany wound up winning 3-2. That's not really helpful for us here. Most people obviously chose Germany, and honestly, that's the way I'm going here too. I think Ecuador are going to beat Curacao, and that would pretty much eliminate them. And going into the last match day, I think Ivory Coast get a win here against Curacao. And this is a tough one. This is a tough one. Ecuador and Germany. And the table, I mean, if Ecuador would win this, they would win the group. I'm going with a draw here. A draw kind of keeps everything where they are. So this group, Group E, will wind up with Germany as the winner. Ecuador going through in second place. I think most people would say this is how they'll send them through. Ivory Coast, 4 points, looking good at the third place ranking. Moving on to Group F, made up of the Netherlands, Japan, Tunisia, and Sweden. I think this is actually going to be one of the more even groups at the tournament. And a lot of people have Japan as their sleeper. I don't know about that with all the injuries they have. They have no Matoma. They have a couple other players that are injured or not at this World Cup. But Netherlands and Japan to start off the group from Texas. That's going to be a good one. I'm actually quite looking forward to this one. I kind of have to go through the entire World Cup schedule and mark down the matches that I really need to be locked in and not be, doing something or out of the house for. And this is definitely one of them. Netherlands and Japan. I don't know. I'm going to go with a draw. I'm going to go with a draw here in the opening match between Netherlands and Japan. Switzerland and Tunisia. I watched Tunisia play twice in the last few weeks, and I think they are ripe for finishing with no points out of this group. I think Sweden are going to knock them out, despite Sweden having a nightmare World Cup qualifying campaign. Absolutely embarrassing from the Swedes. I think they only qualified for the World Cup because of the mumbo jumbo that UEFA did with the Nations League ranking, blah, blah, blah. They honestly probably don't deserve to be here, but they are a much stronger side than Tunisia. Moving on to match day 2. Netherlands and Sweden. I'm picking the Netherlands here. Tunisia and Japan. I'm picking Japan here. Going into the final match day, what do we have here? Basically, all 3 teams would still be in it. Japan and Sweden. This is actually their first competitive meeting, if you can believe that. I feel like Japan and Sweden, teams that have qualified for multiple World Cups, have never met. It's kind of a little crazy there. I think I'm going to follow the crowd here. Most people pick Japan. I'm going with a Japanese win here. And Tunisia and the Netherlands. This is actually a little bit of a derby. I believe there is a fairly sizable Tunisian population in Holland. I think there is. I know there's one in France, but I believe there's one in Holland as well. But the Netherlands, I think, are going to wind up winning this one. So the group will end up Netherlands and Japan go through as 1 and 2 tied on points. Sweden in 3rd place with 3 points. Might get a little dicey, in Tunisia bringing up the rear. We are halfway through the group stages, and next up is Group G. Group G here made up of Belgium, Iran, Egypt, and New Zealand. This is actually one of the weaker groups at the World Cup, but still should be great fun. Opening it up are Belgium and Egypt. I'm going to go with Belgium here. Belgium are by far the strongest team, and this group is basically going to be a fight for 2nd and 3rd place. Iran versus New Zealand. Most people picked Iran. It's their first competitive meeting, and Haiti played New Zealand the other day, and I thought New Zealand would be a lot stronger than what they put out there. I thought they were incredibly weak. I'm going with Iran here, getting 3 points. Belgium, Iran. Belgium are going to win this one. New Zealand, Egypt. This is their first competitive meeting, and I think the Egyptians will just shade it. Going into the last match day, Egypt and Iran. This is going to be a tough one. It's their first competitive meeting. Most people are picking the Egyptians, despite them being lower ranked. And, I think a worse team than Iran. But Iran, as we all know, are having a lot of issues with their visas and travel. And this game is in Seattle, and they're based in Mexico. Where did Egypt have their other game? Egypt get to stay on the West Coast because their match before that is in Vancouver. So I think that's what a lot of people are thinking here by picking Egypt. But honestly, I think a lot of the adversity that the Iranians are facing are going to bring them together. I'm picking them to win this game. And in the last one in the group, New Zealand and Belgium. Belgium will probably play a little bit of a weakened team and still win this one. So, Group G. Group G, we look at the table, winding up. Belgium are going to win the group. Iran, I am picking in 2nd place. Egypt in 3rd with 3 points. And New Zealand kind of doing what everyone kind of expects, and they're going to finish in last. Next up is Group H, made up of Spain, Uruguay, Saudi Arabia, and Cape Verde, the debutants. Cape Verde have a decent team, but this is a difficult group for them. They start off in the most difficult way possible by having to play Spain and Atlanta. The Spanish are going to win this one, I think, by a decent margin. Saudi Arabia, Uruguay from Miami. Uruguay are going to win this one. Spain, Saudi Arabia. I really don't think Saudi Arabia have anything up their sleeves like last World Cup when they beat Argentina. Spain are going to win this one. Uruguay and Cape Verde. I don't know. I think Uruguay probably still quite the favorite here and are too strong for Cape Verde. Cape Verde and Saudi Arabia. I'm picking this one as a draw. Cape Verde have some pretty good attacking players, and I think they can get a point from this World Cup. And then ending off the group, this is pretty much going to be a one-off game to see who takes first place in Group H. Uruguay and Spain. Both of these teams, I think by this point, will already know they're going through. So I'm going to pick this one as a draw. And the table winds up. Spain and Uruguay, unsurprisingly, going through as 1 and 2. And then Saudi Arabia and Cape Verde, each finishing on 1 point. So, I don't know. I don't think either one of those teams. I mean, that definitely won't be enough to get them close in the third place rankings. Next up is Group I, comprised of France, Senegal, Norway, and Iraq. And this is sneakily, well, probably not sneakily, everyone knows that France, Norway, and Senegal have quality teams, and the Iraqis are very good as well. I think Group I probably is more so the group of death than I believe it was Group C, the group that's made up of Morocco, Scotland, Haiti, and Brazil. But let's go through this. Look at this. They say this is a marquee match between France and Senegal to open up the group in New Jersey. A grudge match 24 years in the making, and we all remember, well, I remember, I don't know if we all remember, that opening group stage match for France at the 2002 World Cup where Senegal shocked everyone and managed to beat them. I do not think this is going to happen this time. I think the French are going to have their wits about them, and they're going to win this opening match. Iraq and Norway. You don't really know how Norway will perform at this World Cup. They have not been back to the World Cup for decades, and they have a much stronger team, at least on paper, than a lot of the sides they had in the past. I'm going to pick a Norway win here. France and Iraq. I think France will almost definitely win this game. Senegal, Norway. I'm going to go with a draw here between the two. And then in another marquee match, we got two here. Norway and France. They say it's Saliba versus Holland here. I don't know if Saliba's going to play. I know he has a back problem that he's dealing with, so we may see someone else at the back for France, especially in this last group stage match where France might have the opportunity to make a few changes. I don't know. I think for this one, I'm going to go with a draw here. Yeah. A draw here, and then I'm going to say Senegal are going to win their final group stage match against the Iraqis. And that makes the table look like this. France go through in first place, Norway in second with 5 points, Senegal looking good in third. They got 4 points, and Iraq, I think it's going to be tough for them. I mean, where do Iraq get their points? Maybe against Norway? Probably not, though. You know, I noticed I'm not picking that many draws on here, and I think the first time I sort of ran through this as a practice, I picked a few more draws, but I don't know. I think when you're predicting things, your mind has a bias towards someone is going to win or lose the game, but there'll probably be a little bit more draws here. Moving on to Group J, and this is the group of the defending champions Argentina, Austria, Algeria, and Jordan. Number 1 ranked side in the world. Starts off the World Cup against Algeria. It's their first competitive meeting, if you can believe that. I honestly can't. Algeria usually qualify for a ton of World Cups. Argentina are at, I think, almost all of them, and they've never met before. Kind of crazy. I'm picking Argentina here. Austria and Jordan. Jordan are quite a weak side compared to the teams in their group. And they've suffered some pre-tournament injuries, not looking good. I'm picking Australia here. This, though, match day 2, Argentina versus Austria. This game actually is quite important because if Austria can take points off of the defending champions, that puts who finishes in first and second sort of into disarray. And I believe that, I think second place probably will get Spain. And I think Austria are going to take points off Argentina here. I'm picking a draw here. In the other group game, another match, yeah, it's going to be Algeria winning this one. Algeria, Austria. I think Austria are going to wind up winning this game. And then I think Argentina are going to beat Jordan. So the table will look like Argentina, Austria, and Algeria in third place on 3 points. I don't know if that 3 points is going to be enough, but we will see. Group K, we are almost done here, moving through them quite nicely. Group K here, Portugal, Colombia, Uzbekistan, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo back again. First World Cup for DR Congo since 1974, same as Haiti. All right, let's go through these matchups. First competitive meeting by Congo and Portugal. I'm going with Portugal here. Uzbekistan have a surprisingly strong team. But I don't know. I don't think they can take points off Colombia here in Mexico City. It's going to be a very pro-Colombian crowd. I'm picking them here. Portugal, Uzbekistan. I'm going Portugal here again. Colombia, DR Congo. I'm going Colombia. And this group is kind of shaping up as we kind of all thought. Colombia, Portugal. I'm going Portugal here. And then DR Congo versus Uzbekistan. Oof. I don't know. I do not know. I'm going to draw here. So looking at the table, we got Portugal finishing in first place, Colombia in second, and Uzbekistan finishing with 1 point with DR Congo. Not looking good for them either for the third place matchups. Moving on to Group L, England, Croatia, Panama, and Ghana, and it's another one of those groups where first and second is probably a foregone conclusion. You know, Ghana are in terrible form, and Panama are relatively weak. So it's probably going to be England and Croatia's group to screw up. Opening the World Cup for this group is England versus Croatia, a rematch of the 2018 group stage? Is it 2018 group stage? I believe it was a 2018 group stage. No, it was the 2018 semifinal. And then they played each other 4 years ago in Doha. I'm going with a draw here. Ghana and Panama. Despite Panama being ranked, you know, almost a dozen places higher than Ghana, I don't know. I'm picking a draw. I think they'll get a point out of this one. England are going to beat Ghana. Croatia will beat Panama. Then going into the last match day, England, I think they blew out Panama the last time they faced them at a World Cup 6-1. I'm going with a similar win for them. England win this one. Ghana and Croatia, I'm going with Croatia. So what do we have here? The final table for Group L. England and Croatia, totally unsurprisingly, and bringing up the rear, Panama and Ghana. 1 point each. That's not looking good. This third place, the way I am picking today, I don't know. Last time, I feel like I had more, last time I ran through this, I feel like I had more nations on 4 points finishing in third place. But now I'm getting a lot that are getting, you know, 1 point, 3 points. 1 point almost definitely will not be enough, but we'll find out at the end. Let's go on to the next group. Oh no, that was all the groups. I have resolved all 72 group stage matches. Now it's time for me to choose the 8 third place teams who advance to the round of 32. And I have a feeling, judging by the way I picked, I'm going to have to choose at least a 1 point team, which is probably unrealistic. I don't know. Okay, so looking at the third place teams here, and this, it kind of defaults to using group points and then the FIFA ranking. So Let's look at, I don't think anyone finished on 5 points in third place. No, so I'm going to pick all of the 4-point third place teams, and that is South Korea, Cote d'Ivoire, Senegal. Is that it? Yeah, and that's it. So, I guess that means we need to move on to the 3-point teams, which probably, for a lot of them, will be enough to send them through. And they've already picked all of the 3-point teams. That is Sweden, Algeria, Egypt, Scotland, and Australia. And I think those make sense. And of the 1-point teams, did we have anyone? No, there are no 1-point teams that were picked by default here. All of them will not make it, and that includes Qatar, Uzbekistan, Panama, and Saudi Arabia. And that probably all makes sense. So I'm happy with this. I'm happy with the 8 third place teams, I think. Yeah. Let's continue on to the round of 32. We have finally entered the knockout stages. The round of 32. Winner moves on, loser goes home. Opening up the round of 32, Czechia and Canada from apparently Inglewood. I'm not really sure if it would be quite strange for Canada to play a round of 32 match in the United States. Are there any round of 32 matches in Canada? There's this one here, but are there? I think there are a few, but I guess you get sorted where you get sorted. All right, Canada versus Czechia. I think Canada are going to have just enough in the tank. By this time, hopefully, Alphonso Davies will be fit enough to play. I'm picking Canada to win this game. Germany and South Korea, replay of the 2002 semifinal. This time, I don't know. I'm really not high on Germany at all. Really not at all. But I think they'll have enough to beat South Korea. Netherlands and Morocco. Now this is definitely a little bit of a derby. I know there's a ton of Moroccans living in the Netherlands. I'm going with the Moroccans. I think they'll have enough to win this one. Brazil and Japan from Houston. Oof. That's a tough round of 32 match for the Japanese. I think the Brazilians are going to win this one. France and Australia. I think it's going to be a straightforward one for the French. Ecuador and Norway. Who do people... Oh, I guess there's no community picks here for that. Ecuador and Norway. I think a lot of people are... If this matchup comes to fruition in the round of 32, I think a lot of people will pick Norway. I'm not. I'm going to say Ecuador are going to manage to outlast them here. Mexico and Scotland from Mexico City. Ooh, this one is going to be absolutely rocking. I think Mexico win this one and head into the last 16. England and Senegal from Atlanta. Ooh, that's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be England. I think the real African champions bow out at this point. USA and Sweden, a round of 32 match. Honestly, the round of 32, I said, is this American group's probably their ceiling. I think they're going to win this game, assuming they get Sweden, and move on. Belgium and Cote d'Ivoire from Seattle. I'm going to go with Belgium. Colombia, Croatia from Toronto. I think the aging men of Croatia, I think this is where that generation, where it's over for them. Spain and Austria. Oof. I don't know. I think the Spanish are gonna win this one. All right, 4 more to pick here in the round of 32. Switzerland and Egypt. Ooh, I think the Swiss win this. Uruguay and Argentina. I think this is gonna be a very high-scoring match. You know, Bielsa loves to play chaotically. And while Argentina like to keep possession, they do have a bunch of old men on the team that they're gonna start. I think this one probably will go to extra time, but I think Argentina will just about shade it. Portugal, Algeria, I think it's going to be pretty straightforward. Portugal winning that one. Turkey and Iran, the neighbors. A little bit of a Central Asian derby, West Asian derby there. And I'm going with the Iranians in LA. they're going to have a lot of support there. Well, hopefully they'll have a lot of support there. So I'm going with them for that. And that's the round of 32 complete. On to the round of 16. Starting off the round of 16, Germany versus France from New Jersey. I'm going with the French here. I think this is where the Germans World Cup ends here. Canada. And these actually all say East Rutherford, so I don't think whoever made this actually has the cities out. So never mind about the cities anymore. We're just going to pick the teams. All right, Canada and Morocco. Oof. I think Morocco ends the home nation's journey right here. Morocco move on. Brazil, Ecuador. I think the Brazilians are going to win this one against their South American counterparts. Mexico and England. Ooh, that is going to be a good matchup, I think. I think this is where, honestly, I think the round of 16 is where a lot of the host nations are going to drop out. In fact, all of them are going to drop out here. I'm picking England to win this one. Colombia and Spain. This is going to be a real good one. July 4th. Ooh, baby, I can't wait for that. I think the Spanish are going to win this one. And unfortunately, this is also where the American journey ends on July 4th. I don't know where they're playing, but I think Belgium are going to win it here, and that'll be end of the U.S. national team. Then, round of 16 matchup between Argentina and Iran. Ugh. As much as I would like to pick the Iranians, I think Argentina are going to have too much here. Goodbye, Iran. Then in the last one, Switzerland and Portugal. I'm going to pick the Portuguese here. And the round of 16 is complete. On to the quarterfinals. Ooh, another rematch here. France versus Morocco. That's going to be another tie one, but I think the French should have enough here. Spain and Belgium. I think this is where Belgium run out of rope. Spain winning this one. Brazil and England. Another quarterfinal meeting between the Brazilians and the English. It's going to be England. England can't lose this game to Brazil. Brazil are not in very good form. Their players, people are not very high on them. England should definitely win this one. Then Argentina, Portugal. You know what? I'm going to let my Argentina hate shine through here. The Portuguese getting to a World Cup semifinal. All right, on to the semis. Oof, oof. Look at this. Unfortunately, we've run into an all-European World Cup semifinal lineup here. This is going to be tough. This is going to be tough. But I'm picking France to make the final against England. And so here we are. The 2026 World Cup final from New Jersey is going to be France versus England, the number 3 and 4 ranked teams in the world. And it is going to be, I think, a pretty open World Cup final if these two make it. England, I think, will be more likely to try and control the game and slow it down, work it methodically and put pressure on the French defense over most of the game. And France will just try to kill them with their, speedy wingers and Mbappe. I don't know. I think France are going to go for another final where they try to score 3+ goals. But I think France are going to wind up winners here and win their 3rd World Cup, getting the 3rd star. And okay, they're building my results here, locking in my prediction. And France are the winners of the 2026 World Cup. And as you can see here, if you scroll down, you see who the crowd is backing. And of the nearly 1,300 people that ran through this entire simulation, honestly, my pick of France is not exactly earth-shattering or anything like that. They are the 2nd most picked team, followed by Portugal, England, and Brazil. I'm actually kind of surprised that Brazil is the 5th chosen team to win the whole thing. I do not think this Brazilian side can win it, although I am glad to see that Argentina is not in the top 5. I think they will be fortunate to finish first in their group and avoid Spain in the round of 32. I know I picked them to win the group because Austria couldn't get the requisite points outside of their draw with Argentina, but I don't know. I'm pretty low on Argentina here. I don't think they're going to do very well. So those are my predictions. I'm sticking to them. Please let me know down in the comments who you think is going to win this World Cup, or if you think any of my choices are absolutely bonkers. Please let me know. I'm interested. All right. See y'all next time.